Hi, it's Lucy here, and I'm hoping to inspire you so much today. I'm using this gorgeous PET tape called Silent Night, and isn't it the cutest? I don't just make cute cards though, there's also adult cards in here as well. I make a total of 29 items, and about 25 of them I made in one day, and this is still the afternoon that I'm recording this voiceover. So I still have some of the tape left over too, and I'll show you at the end how much. They're quick, easy, and beautiful, and I can't wait to share my card designs and also some bonus ideas for using these tapes with a transparent background. It has lots of different designs on it, and I'll be using all of them today. And first off, I've fussy cut everything out and put each design in piles, and I did that yesterday. I didn't do that today. Out of the one tape, you get just over 5 of each design, and I haven't used many other supplies as I like to show you how to make cards with what you have or with just a new item or two generally. Onto the first card, and I've cut a piece of white card to 9 centimeters, which is 3.5 inches, and I've made it a bit wider than my card. I won't give you the measurements, but just make it larger than your card so you can cut any overhanging bits once attached to the card. I'm going to create a scene by overlapping the images. I love the PET tapes over washi tapes for doing this, as PET tapes have a transparent background, whereas washi tapes generally have a milky white border, which makes it a bit difficult to overlap them and make them look good that way. So I will be creating with washi tape again soon and show the pros to using washi tape. I do love them both, so stay tuned. I'm showing you this at normal speed, but I will fasten things up once you've seen how I've put the first scene together. The best way to detach the sticker from the backing is to roll the sticker with your thumb. One tip is to make sure you have it with the sticker facing upwards as well, as this makes it easier too. If you need to make lots of Christmas cards for family and friends or for charity or to sell at markets, this may be the perfect video for you because there's lots of ideas and every card was really quick to make and I like each one. I'm using my distressing tool to rough up the edges of the paper. If you don't have one of these, scissors work very well too, or you could leave it without. And I do have a very similar card where I'll show you both at the end, which makes it an even quicker card not doing that, but that doesn't take a moment. All I need to do now is just glue it to the front of the card and then the card is finished. I'll just cut off any overhanging bits with my knife. You can also put it through your trimmer if you like. I really love the roughed up edges on the card. I feel like it reminds me of snow. So I think it goes really well with these Christmas cards that are a bit winter-like. These cards are really cost effective too. I'm using just this tape and items already in my stash. And this particular tape is usually $10.95 US, and I've made 22 cards plus 7 other items, and I still have some left over. So you'll see how much I have left over after as well. So if we just calculated the cards, not the extra items or leftovers, it equates to less than 50 cents a card. So even better is tell you that the Washi Tape Shop is having their biggest sale of the year right now too. You can receive 20% off your order. Just use the code Friday. And I will have the link to their store and this particular tape in the description below. So please use my link if you want to visit their store so they know you came from me. And they also give me a little commission if you buy anything. I'm not saying this so you buy anything, but it would be much appreciated if you use my link if you do decide to buy something. And then there's the finished card. And what do you think? I think it's really cute. I love making scenes. So then I have something really interesting here, which is just a tumbler glass. And these go perfectly. It takes 2 seconds to just pop on. I kind of put the center on first and then with my thumbs smoothed it out and it was perfect. I had a little bit more trouble with wine glasses when they taper at the top a little bit more. So anything straight like this goes really, really well. I'll show you at the end as well. I actually washed one and it still looked perfect. This was using one of their other tapes as well, which I just wanted to show you quickly, that you can use it on any sort of glasses and any glass items really. So that diffuser, I've just added it to as well. This next card, I'm just going around where the die is going to cut it out. I know that you won't see any of that grey lead pencil because that's on the outside of the die rather than the inside, but it gives me an idea of where I need to put everything. So first off, I'll just play around with popping all the things down before I actually stick them down, make sure that I'm happy with the little scene that I've created. And they just come together so fast. It's really cool, isn't it? I'm leaving in some of this playing around bit so that you can see how, I do try a couple of different things sometimes, and some things work and then other things look not so good. But then I won't stick it down. I'll just keep playing around until I am happy with it. I won't be creating all the 22 cards on here. I'm just showing you some of the scenes and just to give you an idea of how they work. And after that, when you see all of the cards, you'll know how they all were made. With this one, I'm going to just add the little envelope to some white card because I want it to really stand out. I'm going to also put a little bit of foam tape on the behind of it as well. I want it to look like the snowman is about to post it in the little Santa's post box. So I won't put that on either until I've die cut this out, seeing as I've got foam tape ready on it. If it goes through the die cutting machine, it'll flatten out the foam tape. I love how this PET tape also has sentiments on there as well, so that I can just use those, and it's all a nice flat card really to be sent in the post. I'm also using some red metallic paper as well for the background, and I think that makes it really stand out too. I do have one version that's similar that I don't use the red metallic paper, and you'll see the difference. So I'm going to create a couple of tags here, and one I'm going to try doing it on acetate, and I don't mind the overall, but I think it looks better with the white behind it in the end, but we'll see what happens. And I've got another little tag die here as well. If you don't have tag dies, you can just cut out a rectangle and then just chop off the two top corners so that they're more on an angle. Or if you have a corner punch, you could use that as well. And so here's the finished tag already, the smaller one. And with this one, I've decided to put the white background behind it, but I looked at all of these different, the double-sided tape, the glue, and the tape runner, and all of them you would see it through. So I decided to keep them as two separate pieces, and that way I can just layer them on top of each other. The ribbon's going to hold them together, and it doesn't matter if they move a little bit, it still looks very pretty. So that solves that problem, seeing as the tape, I think if I'd used my large wide double-sided tape so that it was on all of it, that would make it better, but you still may see some bubbles from it underneath, so this I think was the best idea. With these tags, you can also use the back of them to write who they're to and who they're from, so I think these are a great little tag to have too for Christmas. And what I'm doing here is just using my lollipop stick. You can use any sort of thin tube-like item and just making the twine sit around it, and that just gives it a little bit of a curl. And there's two quick tags made. You could definitely really take a lot more time and put a lot more detail into these things. I'm just showing today how to make really super quick cards and tags and glasses without hardly any effort. onto another card, and I have another sheet of white card, and I've made it a little bit longer than my card, but it's not as wide as my card because I want to have a little bit at the bottom. So I'm creating another little scene here, and I'm also using the red metallic paper again. I'm using my Tim Holtz Christmas sentiments as well. It's a die set, and I've had it for a long time, but it's still available. I think that's because it's a classic, so you can still find that, and I will have links to things like that down below. Anything that is still around, I'll definitely put links down below. I also have some really cheap alternatives for a couple of things as well. So keep watching. Towards the end, I'll let you know. I think it may help Australians more, but potentially, you can find the same sort of thing in your cheaper stores as well in other places around the world. And then that was another card done quick and easy. What do you think of these cards? Are you enjoying watching these so far? This next one was a super quick scene card again, and came together really fast. I'll die cut it out again. I think that it looks really nice when you die cut it out, and especially the ones with the stitching. So I try to use my stitched rectangles more than the ones that aren't. Sometimes it's just those extra little details that really make the cards look that little bit more polished. I'm going to just add a quick red border to it again as well, and pop it on the card, and it's pretty much done. But I think it's really cute. It's amazing how fast these are coming together, isn't it? I was just banging them out all afternoon, one after the other. So this one is a little bit longer, I think, this piece of white card. And this one's really interesting. To start with, I fussy cut all of these ones out when I was doing the first lot. And then as I got into the duplicates, I couldn't be bothered. They were too small, and I thought, no. So anyway, I've decided to use them all on one card, all the ones that haven't been cut anyway. And I think it turns out really good. My husband really liked this one, so let's see what you guys think of it too. I'm going through my little Christmas sentiment stash as well to see if I have anything in here. I kind of just want a merry, and I happened to find one pretty quickly, so I was quite happy with that. I only wanted a small sentiment to go in there. I'm going to be using that red Christmas die again. So I'll just be adding all of these in a line. I'm going to make sure that they cover the card enough by just putting that pencil again where it's going to be die cut so that I don't go too far down page or too far up. I'm trying to make sure that I don't have the same identical line next to each other. So although they are all identical lines, if I turn one upside down or move one around just across a little bit and things like that, they don't look the same then. I hope some of these designs are giving you some new ideas on what to do if you've got some PET tape with small items like this, or you have washi tapes. I have some really interesting cards coming up to show again as well that are completely different too. So yeah, you will see all 22 very shortly. I feel like sometimes just because you're making quick and simple cards, they don't all have to look alike, and you don't have to make them like 10 of the same. It's always nice to make them a little bit different here and there. I've just added a red metallic border again, and then this card is finished. And so one of the little tips that I wanted to share with you is after Christmas, I go to Spotlight and sometimes the $2 shops and things like that, and they have absolute bargains to buy for the following year. And so I bought all of those at Spotlight for about 80% off or something. And then I also have this pack that I bought from Kmart the other day. I do have a lot of metallic cards, but I couldn't resist buying it to show you all as it was only $5. And I think you get 4 sheets of 5 different colours, and there's one muted gold and one glossy gold. So I just thought that was a bit of a bargain if you're looking for some metallic papers. And this is what I have left over, so I could still make quite a few cards or tags or whatever I would like with those too. And so here we go. I'll go through the cards with you. And this one, I used some white Nuvo drops and popped that in the middle of the snowflakes, and also created some snow on that little circle as well. So this one I just did a little bit of layering again, and I actually used my old stickles. I think it's about time I threw that out. I've had it for about 10 years. I did actually use a little bit of blue ink at the top on that card too. And here's the 2 different versions of the one that I made on here. And one was just putting them directly onto the card. Super quick and easy. All of these were super quick and easy. This one you saw me create as well. I think they'd be really nice to give to families. And here's the 2 different versions, one where I've roughed up those edges, and the other one I've put it pretty much on the card again too. I won't have the photos of all of these like I do normally at the end of the video because it's too long with 22 of them, but I will try to put them up on my Instagram page and my blog and Pinterest boards as soon as I can, hopefully this week. And these 2 are very similar as well, just a couple of different changes. I only ever like to do probably 2 cards that are very similar. Most of the time I like to create something a bit different each time. I really like how this one turned out. I do love that orangey background, and it goes really nice with the gold. This one I have used the Tim Holtz sentiment dies again. And then with this card, I've used one of the sentiments that I got from Spotlight, and I just used some candied apple distress oxide ink on it to create the red, and I added some foam tape on it as well. I've made the layers again for this card. We don't have snow here for Christmas, so that may have to go overseas, some of these. This one is one of my favorites as well. I really like how that Merry Christmas die, which is from Uniquely Creative, it's a brand new one. I love how that sits with that tree. It kind of makes it look like an extra large tree shape with that triangle. This one I used a glitter white paper for the background, and in most lights it looks really nice, but in other lights it looks more like stickers on there, so it's probably my least favorite. And then I have the tags again too, and there's still more cards to come that you haven't seen, so keep watching. I'm not finished. You could make lots of tags and card sets as well, couldn't you? Even placemats as well. Place cards, I should say. It's getting late here. I also popped a couple on this envelope, and I just think that's really cute. And another envelope that has the little post box, which I thought was really sweet as well. And then this is one of my favorites as well. I really like it with that gold, with that sentiment is just beautiful, isn't it? And then I did some layering. I'm not sure if you watched one of my latest videos where I did that with the PET tapes, because you can just pop them over each other and layer them on top of each other and get some really good effects. I think it looks really cool. It's quite busy, but I just think they're really fun. And this one I just used a circular die with a scalloped die as well, and made the little scenes on there. And again, I used that Merry Christmas die from Uniquely Creative. It is absolutely gorgeous, and they're having a sale actually this coming Friday for Black Friday. And the washi tape, it's their biggest sale of the year, and also Uniquely Creative only have 2 sales a year. So yeah, I will let you know about that again this week. And that's a really cute Merry Christmas die as well, isn't it? That one's from In Love Arts, and I'll have links to everything below so that you don't have to go searching for everything. And then of course the glasses as well. And I did actually wash one with soapy water, and this is it. I came back up and it's perfect. Like, I dried it with a tea towel and there's no peeling up of anything. I'm not sure how to go in a dishwasher. Maybe I'll have to do that and give you an update on how that goes. But yes, washing it with soapy water was fine. So thanks again for watching. I hope you really enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. And I'll see you in the next video. Happy crafting. Bye for now.